Okay, I think we can start now, and the rest they can join on in as we go. Um, Hello again to everyone. Good evening, and thank you for joining us this late if you're based in Tashkent. My name is Jasmine. I'll be leading this interview, and I'll be interviewing Timur, who recently got into Cornell. So, start off, Timur, why don't you tell us a little bit more about your pre-admissions life before you even had planned to apply to Cornell and before you got admitted, how was it like?
Oh, okay. My name is Timur. I'm from Tashkent, Uzbekistan. Uh, Before I was thinking about admissions, I was attending a public school in Tashkent. After that, I got into Tashkent Presidential School, and that's where I started thinking about applying abroad, and specifically to the United States. And approximately from that time, I've started uh, putting in some work towards that. Um, yeah.
Okay, great.
Uh, like two years ago, I've applied to UWC. And the past 2 years, I've been doing my IB diploma in UWC East Africa, graduating in May. So yeah.
Nice. And before admissions and before UWC, what were some things that you did in Tashkent Presidential School, like as hobbies, projects maybe?
In Tashkent Professional School, okay. So we from we were pursuing Cambridge curriculum there. So like specifically, I finished a GCSE. Uh, from project wise, I've been participating in like Olympiads, specifically English, embedded programming. Um, some school-based competitions like science fairs, physics competitions. I've been editor-in-chief of the school paper, involved in like ecological initiatives, and like I don't know some like emulants once in a while.
Nice. And anything you did out of hobbies?
Mm, okay, so like for hobby-wise, I like reading. I like a lot of like different stuff. For example, like every day, like I read like a lot of news. Like I like to read books on different on different topics, but like specifically, I really like to know how the world works. I like to read about history, what's happening in the world right now, you know. So yeah. Um,
Hmm,
Otherwise, I also like since COVID years, like 2020/2021. I've been involved in I've been self-studying like Python and C++, and just that's like that's something I want to do in the future too, but I've mostly been doing that for myself to this point. So yeah.
nice. Have you found that reading news constantly, have you find that that was helpful in writing essays or really in improving English language too?
Uh I think that was the reason why uh I've become decent at like speaking and writing in English. And also, I think that was like one of the reasons why I didn't really have to prepare for SAT when I was taking it, because I didn't put like that much effort into preparing for SAT specifically. I just took it and I got a decent score. Um, Otherwise, I would just say that it's helped me really, for example, for my economics classes, both at PS and like at UWC, it's really helped me have that wider perspective uh, on the world order and like different like economical eco- relations between countries, which like many other students didn't have, and perhaps that helped me stand out and get better uh, relationships with the teachers. Get better gets much more from the class than others could have because they wouldn't see the whole picture, while I could see a better picture of how those concepts apply to the real world.
Nice. Must have made you more open-minded too.
Can you go again, please?
Must have made you more open-minded too.
Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. Especially when you like realize that like going through like history and like and knowing what's happening in other, like in other countries, it's make you like realize that experiences that your country or like you're going through are usually not that unique, and there's like a lot of things that you can learn from other countries. Uh, and my take is that it also made me more uh like as you said, open-minded and like global oriented, like a global citizen. And that's might have been as well one of the reasons why I've in the end up applied to UWC.
Nice. And how did your journey with admissions even start? Did you know when you were studying in elementary school and middle school that you were going to study abroad?
Um, so I overall, I've been thinking about. I would say it all started in like 2020 during the pandemic. So I've been like I've been watching that video by Russian blogger Yuri Dutch, and he's made a video on Silicon Valley essentially, and after watching it, I mean like about how it works, what people do there, um, and like what you need to get there in a way. I've realized that's something I really do, like I really want to do in my life. And the centerpiece of Silicon Valley, as it was presented in the video, was Stanford University, and I was like, okay, I want to go to Stanford. Uh, so like that, like I had that in the back of my mind. So like since 2020, and I feel like I've been like working towards that. I mean, not in a way that I was doing stuff specifically for admissions, but I just knew that if I want to get there, I need to become a person that they take. That's what I was focused on. So like fast forward to like let's say fast forward to 2025, I mean, like 2024. It's like the year I was applying to college in. I've been doing more college research. I've been seeing how admissions from UWC work, like going through the past data. It's like in the end, I was like, okay, so like I really liked Cornell, like the values that it was founded on, aka openness, equality, any person, any study. That like really resonated with me, and I realized that the program that I want to pursue is also uh, more easy to pursue at bachelor's at Cornell, and has really good career outcomes. In addition to being more open to UWC, as they're much better partners to UWC than Stanford is. So like that's prompted me to apply ED there, and I was really happy that I got in.
Mm. And what would you describe as some of the key differences between, I mean, you've studied in Tashkent Presidential School and UWC, right? So what is different at UWC from Tashkent Presidential School?
So I mean, definitely the first thing is the diversity. UWC is much more diverse, and I think we have representatives from more than 100 countries. While Tashkent PS is quite like uniform in a way that it's just I mean people from Uzbekistan, and a lot of those people are from similar backgrounds. Uh, Another thing I would say is that you get more freedom at TWC. So like not complete freedom, of course, but like much more freedom. It's like at TPS at the presidential school, you just go there, stay there for a week, and you're not allowed out of school. I was like in the city, and I would say at UWC, well, we go out of campus for the weekends. like explore the area, explore the country, explore the region during the breaks, uh, and you really get that taste of like living independently, and you like develop some of the key skills you need in the future. Uh, like being comfortable living all by yourself, or like doing like those house chores, uh, and I feel like academically wise, you like pursue IB, which I don't really like that much personally. I mean, like I really wanted to do it, but like still like want to do it, but like I don't like it at all. But I think it does a much better job at preparing you for the for future, like whatever you're doing, and it's much more holistic than A levels because A levels. Oh yeah, like disclaimer, I didn't pursue A level specifically, but I started on doing AS levels. And I have a good idea of how it's structured. I'll just say that it's too theory reliant, and like there's little to know about applying it, like applying the knowledge you get to something like real world and like tangible. While in IB, it's much appreciated. And specifically for each course, part of the assessment is to do
Raket.
internal
Zikirmaya kısım
internal work that
kursa.
is evaluated by the teacher and then sent to IB for moderation. So like we did like six independent uh like pieces of work. It's like that's like each roughly 3,000 words. It's like that's like 18,000 words just for that. And you write like in extended essay on in a subject that you want to, and it's like a research paper in a way, and that's like 4,000 words. And like you'll do all that while studying and like applying to college. I don't know, doing your ECs, which is like pretty tough. But in the retrospect, it's not that bad. In the moment, it's kind of tough. Uh, but yeah, overall, I'll just say that like UWC is like much more prepares you for life much more better than presidential school does. As I feel like it's presidential school is much more uh is just solely focused on academics without uh touching other aspects that are also quite important for like holistic development and future.
That's nice. And what about the community? Do you like the community at UWC better?
I would say so. Not to just like not to just respect like anyone that's presidential school, but just that like every day you get to learn something new, and it's feel like just to quote someone, I'm not sure who said that at school, but like like it feels like a small UN, like United Nations office. And ironically, there is a like United Nations office not so far from school, where Rwandan genocides, uh, those who were doing it were tried, and I think there was a jail there. And it's just the fact that you get to meet so many different people from different parts of the world, and you get to learn something from them. It's really amazing. And like whenever you think that you cannot see something that won't surprise you, like just gets like life proves you wrong because like there's someone you haven't seen yet who did or experienced something you didn't expect. Uh, so just that's it's like an adventure, and well, I would say PS is more of like uniform, like pretty much
Monotonous life.
like everyone goes with the flow, and there's there's no single standard flow here. Like everyone has their own way, and like it just from like I don't know, like 70 or 80 people in my batch, everyone has their own experience doing different things. So I would just say that you have like the freedom to make your own journey here, to meet the people you want, and there's always community for everyone. So I would just say that's the gist of it.
It sounds nice. And run me through your admissions timeline. Like, how early did you start preparation, and how did that start after that teddy
Um,
do it?
so like I would say, like after that, I followed like a bunch of channels on Telegram. Like okay, so like applying there, blah blah blah. like 50 words you need to know for IELTS, all that spam. I mean, later, like 1 year or 2 years later, I just unfollowed that because it was so useless. Just like spamming your brain, and it wasn't that fun. Uh, but I mean, obviously, after that, I mean, I was always focused on school. But like after that, like I paid extra attention, like just to make sure I'm maintaining the highest GPA possible. And TPS, I would say the hardest part about it for me was maintaining good grades in local subjects because before coming to presidential school, I didn't know any Uzbek. And, like in my first year, I got like a 3 for Uzbek literature. It was like, oh, that's not nice because before that, I was just like getting fives all the time. It was like super easy at my previous, like at the school before TPS. So then I was like looking in for like local subjects, like okay, I need to get like all fives because that's something I could control. Uh, so like I was definitely focused on that. I was trying, like to like apply to all those like I don't know MUNs, that's like those like different events, making sure I'm using all of the school opportunities I get. Like yeah, like I don't know, go to that factory, go to that company, uh, or like there's this project starting and it sounds really cool. Take part in that, and one thing I just want to say that I wasn't like really thinking about, oh, like what I need to get into college. I was like thinking, okay, what I need to do to become that person who's like doing really cool stuff, like building like next generation technology, like in Silicon Valley or like someone else. It's like that's what I was focused on, mainly. And I mean, like I knew that if I put in enough work for that, probably like a really nice college would wanted to, I don't know, have me learn that at their at their campus. So like for example, just like as I mentioned before, like I was like actively, and so I'm actually like learning Python, C++. At this point, I would say not that focused on like learning the syntax and all that stuff, but more of focusing on algorithms and data structures. Otherwise, for example, I took like a bunch of courses on like online, like on Coursera. It's like I took a course on like English grammar, which at that time like didn't like I still like remember like one of my roommates saying like, "Why'd you do that? Like it doesn't make any sense. You will learn it like that later on anyway." But I like did that because I was curious about it, and like it was really useful when I was taking SAT for example because I ended up not really learning about it much because I moved out of TPS after grade 9, and in IB I'm taking the subject for I'm taking the English for native speakers, where basically we just analyze literature instead of learning the grammar or the language itself. So it ended up being really useful because I didn't have to learn it for SAT, and I got like a really good score for IB English, I for SAT English section, which wouldn't be possible if I didn't like take that course years earlier, which was just out of curiosity. So I would just say that after that, after like I watched that video, I was like, yeah, I want to be that guy. I started, I mean, like not all the time. Like of course I had my chill time, but like most of the time I was thinking about, okay, what can I do now to make sure I'm progressing towards that goal in the future.
Nice. And it goes to prove that you don't really need to sit and train on SAT questions and solely SAT questions.
I mean, I feel like the one of the things that people miss is that you can. It's always better to focus on mastery than on scores because like test formats change. Like I don't know, like test formats change, test questions change, but you have the mastery. If you've mastered a skill, and a good test should measure that mastery, and if you have good mastery, then you should be doing well on the test. So like I think that's like I think that instead of, for example, like learning 200 words, or uh trying to like memorize the formats of the test. So like okay, so like that's how the test works. So, like this option doesn't work, blah blah blah. I mean that like this like it's so nice, but it's always in my opinion, it's always better to master those skills because, especially for the SAT, I think they're essential for college anyway. And if you do well in high school, I mean, okay, if you have curriculum in some like IB, again, I'm pretty sure if you have IB curriculum and you do well in IB, especially with subjects like I don't know, like if you take hard subjects uh with like I don't know, like English A, like economics, math, physics, I'm pretty sure you can do well on the SAT with some practice. So like again, it's just about making sure you have those skills, and that's like what people should be focused on, especially if they have a lot of time till they take SAT, because then it's not that hard to score well, and they still have the skills.
My mic was off. And they have better comprehension of general English too. So it'll help them in college if they
Yeah,
get.
that's true. That's true.
So you took the SAT before, right? How many times did you take the SAT?
Okay, so I took it twice. So like first time I got 15, 60, and that's where what I applied with. Second time I tried to get better math section, but I got the same on math. And I think mainly was because uh I was on a sleep deficit the week before. I'm kind of always on sleep deficit, but I would just say especially with SAT, it didn't work out. I mean, I don't have much like justification for that, but I'm like, okay, fine. That's actually decent. And the reason why I was retaking it was like on my first try, I got 790 on English and 770 on math, which is like 1560. And my main concern was that, I mean, I'm an engineering student, so I had 770 on math, which was like below
Yeah.
uh, some percentile for like a lot of engineering colleges. I'm like, oh, that doesn't look nice. And I've so like in IB, the grade scale is out of 7, so like I had 6 on math throughout all the semesters. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't look like very, like math,
Yeah.
it looks like I'm not that good at math. Um, and I was concerned about it, so like I said, like yeah, I'll retake it once more, and I got the exact same score for math. I'm like, oh, but at that point, I was like, yeah, I'm not taking it again, whatever, because I mean, it's not as easy as it is in Tashkent or like, I guess like I know that like some people have to like travel to take a CT, but like for me, it takes the whole weekend basically because I have to go to the test center, which is like I mean like I'm basically like in Tanzania right now for 2 more months. It takes the whole weekend, and like the academic week is quite energy consuming, so you also lose the weekend. And I figured that it wasn't worth it in the end to take it again, and I'm glad I didn't because there was no need to do that.
I think it was the right decision.
Yep.
So after your SAT, what were some next steps that you took in admission specifically? What grade were you in?
That was in last year in March 2024, so I was a junior,
Nice.
high school junior. Uh, After that, I just tried to get a good grade on IB. So I just was working towards that. So like that's was like until June, I guess. And over summer break, I wasn't really doing anything. I was just resting and like recovering from the school year because it was quite tough. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, nice. And what
it,
were,
it was very energy consuming.
yeah, I can imagine. And what were the biggest, some of the biggest projects and extracurriculars that you were involved in leading up to
Um,
that you applied?
so from this, I'd say from the school-based ones, I would say outdoors pursuits. So like I've went on like a lot of trips throughout my 2 years in Tanzania, which like culminated in like climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, which is like the highest mountain in Africa and one of the highest in the world. It's like I wrote one of the supplementals about that too. Then I was part of senior leadership team like one of the leadership positions in sustainability committee, where we were like responsible for adhering like to like sustainability values on campus. Like we were measuring consumption of like electricity, water, trying to minimize the waste, thinking about how we can uh use sustainable energy sources. So like we thought about we like weighted and considered that. So, like we decided, okay, like let's fundraise for solar batteries. We had like fundraisers for that. Apart from that, I mean, like back in Uzbekistan, I took part in like Olympiads. Um, the year before I went to WC, like the summer before I went to WC, I took part in International Economics Olympiads on Uzbekistan team. Um, like yeah, and like I took like qualify for it, like three stages or something. Uh, and other like Olympiads that I did before when while at TPS, plus Zakovat, like quizzes, academic quizzes. How do you call it?
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I think that's kind of it.
nice. Did you take IELTS?
No, I didn't. No, like I'm very happy that I didn't take IELTS because like all this crazy in Uzbekistan about IELTS. Like yeah, like you need to you need IELTS to go study abroad, like you need that IELTS, and I think like one of my like, biggest achievements was that I didn't have to take it because I think the reason I didn't have to take it is because I was taking English like literature class and I was like doing well in it, so I was like, exempt from that requirement, and I'm very happy about it because I think that like taking out like like all this like outs 200 words you need to learn for outs is like quite brain rot, and I'm
Yeah,
happy that I didn't have to like like learn those words and I know go through that
that's
process. I'm like very happy.
okay. And climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, that sounds very interesting. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about that? How was the journey like?
Okay, so that was 6 days trip. Like you're out, yeah, like you're out in nature for 6 days. 6 days, 5 nights. So first first 3 days, you're just like climbing up, 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 up. Like then you reach first four days actually. So like you reach that point before the summit, and then over the night from like fourth to fifth day, you summit like you go to the summit, and that's basically you wake up at 11 p.m. and you're going up the whole night to like 8 a.m. And that's like you're like sleep deprived. There's no like there's like much less oxygen there, and like you're climbing up. It's super tough, and uh, but like it's also like the views are like also like so amazing. But I really thought I wouldn't make it. So to be honest, I was like, yeah, like that's my end. Like I thought like twice about that because one thing like to get there, but like you also need to climb down after it. Like yeah, I'm not climbing down that thing. Eventually, I somehow reached that summit. I'm like, yeah. And the moment I saw the like the board, okay, like, you're now at the summit. I wasn't like happy. I'm like, yeah, like how am I going down? Like that's the only thing I was thinking about. I mean, in the end, it worked out. So like I went like going down was like 2 days, and then yeah, and then my knees were not in the best condition, but it's all worked out. And after that, I just went to Zanzibar, which is like an island in Tanzania with my friends, and then we had fun there. And it was also in October before before the
Yeah,
early deadline.
yeah.
Yeah.
A very admission-centered top question, but what's your favorite animal?
Animal.
Yes, animal.
Um,
What's your favorite animal?
I would go. I would go with the falcon, but like now that I'm like that I got into Cornell, I would go with the bear probably. And I gotta stay loyal to my alma mater.
Yeah, that can be expected. Um, and what are you up to right now nowadays after you got accepted? What is the post-admissions life like? How is it treating you?
So I'm watching movies. I don't know. Uh, like no, like doing things I wasn't doing before. Like going to some I don't know, playing like frisbee, running around. Like I started running again, playing soccer, basketball. So like I've from like from over the winter break, like I realized that I can't last long without actually studying or like doing anything for myself. So, like I also started picking up on some of the stuff that is usually done in college, but I want to get placed out of before I go there. Uh, and as my finals are starting in 3 weeks, kind of also like a bit preparing for those, just like do decent on them. Yeah, and I would just say that life's been wonderful since then, like much, much more better. Because IB is not as tough as it was, and like basically about 2.5 weeks break right now. And in the last 2 weeks, I barely had any classes because we're done with the syllabus. So I'm just like going to school in the morning to check in, and like going back to my dorm just like to sleep for 4 more hours, and going like to one or two classes, eat lunch, and then like do whatever I want, and sleep again, then play something, then I go out in town.
Yeah.
Like it's like life's actually like a regular life now, So
Yes.
after a third semester in IB, it's much more better. But like it was really, really tough before that in second and third semesters.
Finally get to enjoy life without any deadlines pushing you.
Yeah, that's true. Like how that's feeling when you can't really rest when you know that you have pending work. But like when you don't have any pending work, you can actually relax and enjoy
Yeah.
your life.
Yeah. And it's not often. Uh,
Yeah, that's probably these next 3 or 4 months, probably like the last time I'm getting that in a
yeah.
long, 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 long,
After
long, long
Cornell, it's
time.
gonna be a little different. So, in admission specifically, what were some takeaways that you had from your journey? So every one of us who's in admissions, they probably had expectations that they had when they first entered the admissions world, and a lot of those expectations were probably most likely crushed by reality. So, what were some of the takeaways that you had in admissions from your journey?
So like I would just say, you need to have a bigger goal and purpose than college acceptance, mainly because there are like a lot of factors in that come into like decision making that admission officers make, and you never can actually make like 100% sure that you will get into a college, especially as an international, especially if you have financial need. So like what, in my opinion, is the best course for those who are applying to college and like still have some time is to focus on what they want to do in life, and how can college specifically help them with that? Because like, first of all, college is not the only way to achieve something in life. And when you, for example, realize what exactly you need college for, you have that guiding statement or like slash principles that you make in your college selection. Because, for example, I know some people who are applying to, like, for example, I know some people who are applying to colleges with great names, but like that don't have strong programs in the area that they want to pursue, and they're just like applying just for the name, which doesn't make much sense because yeah, I mean, in the name, like in the end, the name can get you to some places, but what's the purpose of that when you can get a better education, for example, somewhere else? Or, for example, those who just study or like like pursue extracurricular activities just for the purpose of college application that in the end have little to no impact on their communities or on them or like, on their development, which is just a waste of time because, for example, if you don't get into college, just like wasted months of your time on doing something that's nobody asked for, like you don't even need in your life. So instead of that, I'll say focus on skills that you will definitely need it in the future. Like focus on building those. So like if you want to work in tech, I don't know, learn Python, learn uh,
Mm.
focus on like studying math well. Uh, think about like what exactly you want to do. Like explore, like I know that it might sound like cliche and
Mm.
overused, but it's much better than graduating from like college with a degree and you're like, yeah, I don't really want to do that because like we have some people talking about that on the like careers panel at TWC. So just say make sure that you don't like my advice, like my personal subjective advice is that I try to build someone like try to build yourself to the point where college just wants to take you and not like like fake it like oh yeah I'll do this here so like like you go online like people who got admitted into I don't know like Harvard or like okay so I need to do this to get into Harvard like instead focus on trying to become a person that you want to be in the future. So then, the colleges see that you have like those like okay, so like, that guy wants to become like a marine biologist, and they've done that so far, and they're like trying to achieve this goal by like saying this, like yeah, like we want to take them and like we want to help them in their journey. So I think like that's like a much healthier approach and a much safer approach in the end because you cannot get a guarantee a college acceptance.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
Yeah.
admissions, the whole scene, really, it's never a one size fits all scene. So, okay. And what was one misconception that you feel you had when you were only entering the world of admissions and starting out that eventually turned out to be wrong? Do you have something like that? Anything like that? Or was everything like you
Mm.
expected it to be?
I just I would just say that's like how they say like oh like shoot for the moon and stuff, but like you need to like risk is a really good thing, but like you need to know how to manage it, and like you need to and I feel like the best like uh the smartest people like and the best people in all areas are those who know how to manage risk well. It's like for example, I had only 10 like I could only apply to 10 colleges because like that's my school policy. So like some people are like, why didn't you apply to I don't know there? I'm like yeah. That would be great, but like, I have my 10 like college slot. And it'd be like, oh like maybe you could have like applied to, I don't know, why didn't you apply to Stanford in the end? Or, like apply to MIT or something. Yeah, I mean I could have done it. Maybe I would get in, maybe not. But you know, it's like when you like it's like gambling, but like you need to gamble in a smart way.
Yeah.
And it's like better to win like like for example 18 points with like like with a bit higher probability than like gamble for like I don't know 20 points with like a significantly lower probability because like you analyze all the data you see like which outcome is more probable and you go for it. It's like a same applies for like I don't know for people like applying from Uzbekistan. So, like if you know that like the college doesn't give good financially usually maybe it's not the best like investment of time to write supplements for that college, which doesn't mean that you cannot get accepted to it. Maybe you can, maybe like you can get a decent financially, but uh, for example, that there's like another college which has a good history of accepting students from Uzbekistan with good financial aid. So you know that probably your main competition comes from within Uzbekistan and they take people from Uzbekistan or like other countries, like whatever country you're from. So it's just about, like, so to it's important in college admissions. It's important to analyze the data you have, including your stats and like past cases. So and don't try to like imitate anyone, but for example, just take the numbers and like, rough GPA, SAT scores. Just like look at, okay, so like this makes sense, this doesn't make sense. Because like, for example, I basically in our school we give the data to the counselor. Like I can see how many people applied to what college in the past 5 years, how many of them got in, and how many are like attending. So like through my friends, I can learn about students from other UWCs. So for example, even like with Cornell, like last year, my roommate applied to Cornell, and got waitlisted. So like, I had some rough data to work with, and then I feel like I made a really good and weighted decision by applying ED. So like same applies to like to people like applying from Uzbekistan or other countries. Uh, of course, there are always like first people to get in somewhere or like all that stuff. But yeah, you have limited time, and I don't think you can genuinely write more than 10 good applications to like different places, like competitive places. That like let's say, so you need to focus your effort uh onto something that you can achieve, and like of course risk, like of course risk, but always have some well balanced risk considered options, and that's like have some crazy like risky options. Because for example, if I was deferred or like slash like rejected, I would have like applied to like yeah like MIT Stanford. I would have applied to in regular. But would that make sense applying early there? No. So like I didn't apply early there. So I just say consider all those factors and keep in mind that keep in mind how you can maximize your chances of winning like the game, because uh like college admissions is a game. And I think it's zero sum, because you get in, your friend doesn't get in. So you just have to play it smartly.
And I think that strategic aspect of college admissions is also something that often goes overlooked, that
Yep.
you don't just need a good portfolio. So you also graduated freshman scholars, right? If I'm aware. Now,
Yep.
I personally have not taken the course, but I know what it's about. So, just to share with our viewers, could you give some background info on the program and how that was like for you?
Okay, so uh what it was about is we had like weekly sessions. At first it was like general sociology and philosophy and all that stuff. It was really fun because before that I didn't have much exposure to sociology, uh, which was like the fun thing is that like 2 months before 1 month before college started, I took a online Stanford summer program pre-collegiate something course on philosophy, like less 2 weeks, like in total we had like 20 hours or something, like a lot of work. So like I got a really good exposure to philosophy before that. So like when we were covering philosophy material, I was like, yeah, like it's so fun. And I could resist some of the knowledge I learned before. I would say sociology knowledge really helped in changing my perspective on like a lot of things, not only admissions, but like also in the end, it helped me see how like because basically like Valera and Sanjar would relate all that like sociology stuff to admissions somehow. And that's kind of made sense. And I think it helped. I'm not sure if if that part helped directly, but it was fun. I really liked it. And like closer to like September, October, we switched like to more direct, like like admissions like related stuff. Okay, so like that's how like you research. Like that's where you look at the career outcomes. I don't know, like like all the different stuff. And that also helped me greatly in the college research. Like not gonna lie. And overall, I would just say my essays wouldn't be like nearly as like they'll be like much worse without Sanjay, because I kind of like like I was following all that content about essays for a long time, but in the end, like when it comes to doing, it's different from like knowing. It's like yeah, like I know show don't tell, like I know that, or like you need to show growth. Yeah, I know that, but like I wasn't really at the point where I knew how to do it well. And I think like college doing admissions and like consulting on like college related stuff is a separate skill that you need to have. So like that's one of the reasons why I'm not really excited to pursue any of that stuff because I don't have that skill.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty honest about it. So I'll just say that's like 2 points about college. Like they were really fun, like academically, like all like sociology, philosophy, and second, I feel like they were really on point with like a lot of admissions related stuff because like in the end, like actually I'm modified, for example, my personal statement idea and I liked it much more than it was before. I got some like tips on on the points that didn't make much sense or like added any value to the essay, which I wouldn't see otherwise. Because like when I write an essay, I can't really like review my own essay. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks so good. That's so good. Like I'm so proud of it. But you really like need someone who knows uh how things work to tell you, yeah, like that doesn't work, buddy. You got to change it.
The
And
benchmark.
yeah, like that was a big booster, I think.
Nice. All right. And what about life in Cornell? Do you have anything planned for Cornell right now?
Oh yeah. Um so I want to go on a trip before orientation, which is like we you can choose to go on a 4, 6, or 8 day trip before that. So like as someone who liked outdoor pursuits at school, I plan on continuing that there. And like what really made me happy is that they have the biggest outdoors program in the United States. Like yay. And the fact that it's like far away from New York City and it's quite isolated uh was a good factor for me because that means that it has really good exposure to nature and a lot of stuff you can do over the weekend. And like my school like I study right now, look at it, is more isolated than that. So I'm like, yeah, that's like, and I'm really fine with it, like with the location of my school. So like, yeah, like that wouldn't be a problem for me. Uh, and academically wise, I'm planning on taking the advanced standing exam in August for like 3 or 4 courses because I really want to get that credit and like dive into the more specific courses that they offer. It's like try to get as many foundational courses out of my way as possible because like I also want to double major. So and like okay, I consider double majoring because in like studying in the engineering college is already tough. So I'm not sure if I
Yeah.
will be able to double major, but I really want to keep the doors open. Like that's like also like one of the things I uh, prefer to do in my life. Like just maybe like you don't have to do that. So, like maybe in the end, after like finishing college, I'm like, yeah, I don't have to take that advanced exam, but I just keep my options open, and that might help in the future. Like like having more options in the future is the best thing you can do
Yeah. That sounds like a
to
good.
help you.
If you were to double major, what major would you pick to combine with engineering?
Uh, so I mean, okay, thing is that you can only double major in the college you are in. So like I'm in the College of Engineering, so I can only double major in engineering, in different engineerings. So like right now I'm looking into uh flight and engineering physics, and I might do electrical and computer engineering in addition to that, or environmental engineering, or maybe computer science, like more like leaning into like AI because like all those computer scientists are like getting displaced right now. So like yeah, like I don't want to be on that side. Apart from that, another like thing that I really love is that you can minor in anything in any college. So I considering minoring in uh political science. I'm not sure how that minor is called, or like slash like like policy making, like public policy making or something. Like it sounded really fun. Or entrepreneurship and or business management and entrepreneurship. And like what was the name, but like something along those lines in the Dyson School of Economics in Cornell.
Yeah, that also sounds really nice. Like a nice combination. Now, that was it on my part with the questions. If you have anything at all that you would like to add, you may do so right now. If not, I think we can move on to the questions. I'm sure our viewers have a lot of interesting questions in store.
Yeah, like nothing to add on my part. So if there are any questions, happy to answer.
All right, let's check the group if they sent any questions. And those who are watching right now, you can also type questions into the Zoom chat too. We will be looking at those too. I don't see any questions in the group, nor in the chat, but let's give it 1 minute. And if we don't receive anything, I think we can start wrapping up at that point. Yes, Jeb here.
Well, good evening, everyone. Timur, congratulations once again on your achievement, and I'm really delighted to be here. And I have a question that I'm in the admissions program in the freshman academy right now, and I'm struggling to find the answer that was given for assignment to us. Yeah. I think the UWC is your greatest shift, maybe, probably greatest shift in your life. I mean, pre-application life. Um, what would be your greatest shift if you didn't get in UWC? I mean, yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I think first of all, I don't think UWC was the greatest shift. I think presidential school was a bigger shift for me because that's made me much more connected to Uzbekistan and resonate much more with the culture, the language, and the people. Because before that, I didn't know any Uzbek before presidential school, and the amount of academic opportunities and exposure to like international teachers and different people in Uzbekistan who were in position of power and like in different fields was like quite immense. And I think that getting into presidential school was a much bigger shift than UWC because I would just say like UWC like solidified what I was like solidified my desire to get an international exposure, but the initial but that like initial desire was born in presidential school. So I would just say that impact wise, I think presidential school had a much more bigger impact than UWC. Like not much more, but like a bigger one. But again, both were really good, and I've grown a lot over the years I've spent at both institutions.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. Now we have two more questions in the group chat. First is, are MUNs really effective or not? I've been attending them, but I don't see anything special.
Okay.
What are your thoughts
Like
on the thing MUN
that's a
topic?
good question. Okay. Uzbek MUN, like MUNs in Uzbekistan are brain rot. There's nothing academically wise or like whatever wise, there's nothing really you can gain from those mostly. But like they're really good at building that like network and meeting new people. And I think that's the main reason people go to those because like the whole like groups, friend groups, I don't know, uh, who are met each other at MUN. Like I have two friends who met their girlfriends at MUNs, and like I don't know why they were going to MUNs in the first place. But I would say, it won't hurt you, definitely. Some of those are a waste of time at some point, but like if you didn't go to any, I would just say go and then like see for yourself. If you don't really like going to those, don't go. It's not a big deal. But I would say, I've took part in one MUN online, which was like during the COVID years, and it was like organized by C5+1, which is like Central Asia and like plus, I don't know, like United States or something. It was like organized by Bishkek, by U.S. Embassy in Bishkek, and they were like represented from all Central Asia, and like we were like doing it, like it was an actual MUN, and I really enjoyed it. So I would just say look out for MUNs that are not like for serious MUNs, but like for some I know like random 255 school MUN, like probably I mean they're not that academic, but like more for the network. But I mean, if you like it, go there. If you don't like it that much, see for yourself. It's not a big deal, really.
Yeah. But in no way should you ever fabricate an interest for MUNs just because you think it'll help your admissions portfolio.
No, 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 no. It's not really worth it. But I mean, if you didn't go before, definitely try
Yeah.
going there. But like just doing it, just like doing MUN just for admissions is definitely not the best idea.
Okay. Next question is, do you recommend applying through ED? Because I heard that it'll lower your chances if you don't apply with legacy or lots of money.
Okay. For that one, I've talked to quite a lot of admission officers, and like I reached out to quite a lot of those because we get campus visits and have like I think I have a good picture of how things work on the other side, which is like we're not like perfect, but a good picture. ED, okay, like, yeah, it's definitely apply ED. Legacies apply ED, but one point that you also don't want to miss is that colleges try to maximize their yield, and when you apply ED, you just say, yeah, like that's the highest form of demonstrated interest you can make. And in the end, if they like you, like if they don't if they reject you ED, they would have rejected you in regular too. Like that's pretty much it. If they defer you, yeah, like then you get like another shot. And if you really like a college, you should apply ED. If you're ready by the deadline, definitely apply ED. It won't hurt you directly. And heard similar like like I was like on Instagram, I was like watching some like reels back in the like August or like September. And I'm like, don't really listen to those because like a lot of admissions content is not reliable. And I think just like based on the fear of missing out, like people just like listen to that stuff, like oh, I don't know, comment comment I don't know Harvard to get my exclusive some document or something. I mean, I don't really think that there's like a lot of value in those if you have the basic knowledge on admissions. Uh, like again, don't really like make sure you have like reliable sources on admissions. And I would just say definitely if you like the college, uh, you're ready to like you have a strong application by the deadline, apply ED. Like that's the best thing you can do. Like not applying ED and applying RD instead with the same application is not worth it. Because like again, if the college likes you in ED, they accept you and they know that you must go. In RD, they don't have that confidence, so just keep that in mind.
Okay. Now for the next question we have, was late joining. I was late to Zoom. What were your 10 ECs? Um, Whether or not you want to answer that is up to you. I know that it's a very elaborative response. I think you can just summarize it like your main
Just
extracurricular.
okay, I'll just try to go through it again. So sustainability committee at school, um, bike race organizer, which is like also like it has a funny lore because before coming to WC, I didn't know how to ride bikes. It's like I learned that in the first year, and then like in the second year, I was the one organizing those rides, which was like a moment of growth and probably one of the one of my best achievements while I was studying at UWC. Then I have Zakolats, outdoor pursuits, editor in chief of paper in residential school. Like the thing is that I had like 20 activities that are written initially, and then I put some in the 10 EC activity list, and then I've just dumped the rest into my additional information. So like I mean I think that's a good summary of what I had mainly. It's like also Olympiads, of course. I was like ranked really well in the like presidential PTMA, PMA agency, like presidential schools agency. Like I was like specialized agency in competitive programming for some years. That was nice. Economics Olympiads. Um, my own like my like I had a project where in presidential school we were teaching Scratch to lower grades. Uh, Something along like yeah, like I think that's what comes to my mind now. But there was more. Just that's I don't know exactly what I wrote to the 10 EC list at this point because I had a really hard time choosing what to put on it and how to prioritize and structure it.
Okay. Um, is it true that you once achieved 99th percentile from the SAT? Is it useless to take it again? Um, yes. It is useless to take it again because he did achieve 99th percentile from the SAT, right? Remind us your score.
Which is 60.
Yeah. And his English score was also
And things that it's really pointless to retake any to okay, for me, the reason I was retaking it is because I was concerned about my math score, which could have been like evaluated separately. I don't know how to would have been uh seen given that I have as a not perfect score in math. So like that's like what I was concerned about. But overall, I think it doesn't matter if you are like above 15-20. It doesn't really make any difference whatsoever. So
yeah.
yeah. But like specifically section by section, it might make some difference from what I know. But it all comes down if you want to do it or not.
Yeah.
Like if you have a really good score, then just don't bother like retaking it. I mean, you can get like 1600 and like open your city center if that's what you want to do, of course. But if you're not considering that style of work, then just don't do it. It's useless.
Yeah. All right. And this question was sent to my direct messages for some reason. But and again, this is also one of those questions that if you would like, you can answer them. If not, you can just withstain. How do you think Trump's actions of canceling hundreds of millions of money in grants will affect international students in getting and receiving good financial aid?
Uh,
Complex
from
question.
what I know, it's initially it will affect graduate schools, which I mean I'm not sure of. Uh, I think well definitely with the budget cuts, it might be a factor. But again, what's the the main thing is that like colleges, are also want to keep that diversity that they have on campus. I believe I'm not. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not in like in that's. I'm not an expert on that matter. But like, just like during Red Scare in like 50s, 60s, when like, like those like consistent like attacks on like American institutions, I think that's they want to make sure that they withstand that without losing out on international students too, because especially for those like top institutions that like top in like in terms of like ranking and resources, institutions they have, I think they have the resources to withstand that, and obviously they don't want to risk their like endowment going down and stuff. But it's my decrease, but it's not that. I think they won't stop giving it like giving financial aid to like international like students completely, or want to cut down it significantly to an extent where you can get in. But it might be a factor, I guess,